legal fees on your trying.
Exactly. And this would apply to your kids, to your teenagers, to your friends, to neighbors, to the one with the brunch, to everybody. You know? How does he listen? How do we communicate with him? Maybe in that story, maybe in Bob's story, the original story is Bob. When in Bob's story, maybe the situation was that the neighbor was not auditory or visual. Show me the branch on the tree and telling me that look at the damage for $1,000. I said, oh well, maybe that person was kinesthetic. So how we communicate with each other, we all hear differently. And it's important that when we talk to someone, if you want to bond with someone, and I don't care whether it's a client or a person, pay attention to how they listen and then communicate on that same level. If you want to get your message across, speak their language, not your language. If I want to speak to you, I know the birds have been linked. Do you understand what I said? No, I'll speak your language.
So the person that's not a visual, drawing the sketch for him and asking him to sign this off, it's a pretty useless exercise.
It could well be.
Right. Absolutely.
The best, I mean, if y'all are like me, I like to cover all the bases. So if I was going in a sales appointment, I mean, I can quickly assess. But sometimes people will present it, you know, you all do this to some degree. When you first meet somebody, you know, you're on point, you're watching your P's and Q's, or if people are shy, they're not going to give you a lot of messages. So the way I handle it is to make sure I cover all the bases. If I've got somebody new in a training, until I know them well enough, I will run the gambit. And I memorize things that, does that look about right? Can you see what I'm saying? All the visuals go, huh? Think about that. Can you see what I'm saying? It's impossible, but it resonates with us. And I'll say, yeah, that feels about right. Can you get a handle on that? That's another great one for kinesthetics. Can you get a handle on that? I hear you. Oh, if you've identified an audio, it doesn't matter what's coming out of their mouth, what they love to hear, is I hear you.
That's a well put. See, I couldn't say it because I'm not kinesthetic. So I couldn't say the word properly.
Yes, but we learn to be chameleons, don't we? There's another aspect of communication that I think we should cover, and that is what comprises that 90%. 7% is the words, and isn't it interesting that we all spent the morning in that exercise dealing with the words? You know, the 7% or the 10%, which is, what about the rest of?
What about tonality?
Tonality, facial expression. Amos has touched on body language. But that 90% is comprised of tonality, facial expression, and body language. And the biggest of that group is your tonality. I want you to think about that. Those of you that like to do business by email, do you understand that you're handcuffing yourself and only making available 10% of communication? And you fuss and fidget over the words and you get the words exactly what you want. And we all know this. If you can say your email in 10 words, do not use 20 or even 15. And I'm not anti-email. You all know that. But use it appropriately. If communication is important, if you're dealing with a client, a customer, you know when communication is important. Why? Or why would you handcuff by only using that 10%? Pick up the phone. You just increase the channels of communication significantly, because at least with the other person you got not only the 10% of the words, but the 37% that's tonality. 37%. Well, in my world, that's a big increase. You know, you don't have they can't see my face, so the facial expression, I don't have that tool. They can't see my body, and I can't see theirs, so again, I'm not getting their information. At least if I pick up the phone, I get a sensing of what's going on. I can hear them, I can hear their tone. And the better I know them, I know when they're off their game. Yes?
It's funny, it's the same conversation I had with one of our staff yesterday. Don't use email. Pick up the phone, talk to the client. You can see, you can feel, you can hear. You can hear what you can't hear. You can hear what's not said by talking to the client. By talking to anyone. You can hear of the words that are not said. You can sense the mood. You can sense how the other person feels. And you can direct your conversation and get results quickly. If you send an email, it goes one way and it comes back the other way. By the time you send the third response, what you get the other way, oh, that jerk. Here he is again. You know? You're better off always having a direct personal contact. Avoid emails as much as you can. And of course, tonality. We talked about tonality before. Adam, I think you're such a wonderful guy. You know, honey, I love you. And this, where's the one? And how much did that mean when it's such a wonderful guy, you know?
How many have ever experienced being on the receiving end of bad tonality? I know I have.
For 45 minutes.